Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm gonna be giving you part 16 of What If Naruto Was Abandoned and Awaken a Kekkei Genkai. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode over on Anime King of What If Naruto Was Broken by the people that he loved. And I enjoyed that, guys. And also over in Making 3, I posted a brand new episode of What If Naruto had the deadliest bloodline, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, would you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last spot we left off, Kakashi came to Naruto as he wanted Naruto to help Sasuke, because he wanted Naruto to show Sasuke's taijutsu style, so he could copy it with his Sharingan. As Naruto was pissed off, how dare the man come to him and ask him this. Kakashi go as far as to order him, saying that he was being insubordinate, but Naruto didn't give a damn, as he wouldn't do a damn, and the chance of him ever forgiving him now, he can kiss that goodbye, as he told him to screw off and made his way. Later that night, Naruto went to visit Yujito. She thought that after the exam that he would forget about her, but he would still help her no matter what, as she was grateful, as she thanked him. A month passed after that, as everyone had gathered for the Chunin exams. The Raikage was there, they were all there, to watch the exams unfold in front of them, as Orochimaru was there, disguised as a Kazekage. A lot has happened in the past month. As Sarutobi glanced towards Orochimaru, he knew that he was under the Kazekage ropes. As Naruto entered, he saw Yujito, as he looked towards her hands. Her hands had fully healed by now, because of what happened. In the month prior, Yujito was being attacked by two unknown ninjas. No matter how hard she hit them, no matter what she did, they just wouldn't go down. So she ran, and brought them towards the cavern, where she sealed the exit as she transformed. But even in her transformed state, she stood no chance. As a kunai then dropped, Naruto had flashed in front of her from Konoha as he saved her, used Nairashin. Kakazu and Hidan tried to take him on, but they soon realized that Naruto was vastly stronger than them. Before the battle could drawn out, Itachi came there. As he glanced towards Naruto, Itachi was surprised at Naruto's speed, not to mention Naruto's overall presence. As he told them not to intervene, they will capture Nibi another time. But Naruto warned them that if they come after her, he would kill each and every one of them. As Itachi deactivated his Sharingan and they fled. With that out of the way, Naruto went on healing Yujito. There was a moment there that she lost so much blood, they thought that she was gonna die, but she pulled out of it, as he was grateful. As he helped her up and brought her back to Kumo. So yeah guys, so it's basically last we left off. You guys can switch across the play check for yourself. So what is to begin this new episode? It had been a good 5 minutes. All Yujito could see was shapes of blur as they zipped through the mountains. Yujito was still embarrassed about what she had said and done, as she thought that she had died, and the things that she had said while he was there. And it was driving her crazy because he hadn't said a single word about it yet. In truth, she had hoped that he would ask her about it. She didn't want to be the one to start the conversation, but it seems like she's gonna have to be. As she gulped, she moved towards his ear. Naruto-kun. Yes, he said. About what I said back there. It's okay, Yujito-chan, he said. I understand, he said, interrupting her. So, you know that you like me, said Naruto, cutting her off. Yeah. What you did back there, show me. Unfortunately, I don't quite feel the same way about you, he said. She interrupted him before he could finish. I see, she said. She felt her heart sink, her expression sink. Everything about her just deflated after hearing that. Her limbs and muscles gave out, knowing that the only person that she ever actually had feelings for didn't like her in return. Not that she could blame him. He already had two attractive women by his side, Hana and Natsumai. Why would he need another? She could hear the Neji in her mind. She no longer wanted 10 minutes to have her way with him. She now wanted 10 minutes to rip him to pieces for hurting her. Tears threatened to fall from her eyes. She cursed at herself. I'm a Kumo Kunoichi. Not only that, but I'm one of the best the village has. For Kami's sake, I shouldn't be so emotionally weak. She mentally screamed at herself as she felt her tears becoming harder and harder to hold back. And yet I can't help but feel sad and alone. It hurt so much. Her defense broke as tears started to fall down her cheeks. But she felt his hand that was holding on to her, squeezed her a bit. Yujito-chan, he said, getting her attention. You should really let me finish. Before jumping to the very conclusion that is making you sad and cry, he said. Despite the rushing winds, she heard him fully. What I was going to say is that while I don't have those same feelings for you right now, that doesn't mean I won't develop them later. I mean, for Kami's sake, you're beautiful, smart, strong, caring, an overall good person. I would be a complete idiot to not notice those things about you. His words shocked her. They made her blush a bit about his description on her. So I don't want you to think that way, said Naruto. Truth be told, because of the invasion in the upcoming Chunin exams, my mind has been a lot conflicted lately and busy, so I don't have enough time to think about that right now. The only reason why me and Hana-chan are so close is because we had a past prior to me returning to the village, and we have grown closer over the years. Had we not, I probably would have told her the same thing I just told you. I hope you're not too upset with me, but can you just give me until after the invasion is over? Then we can focus on that part, and let's see where things go. But until that time, can we continue with our friendship for now, he asked. She listened the entire thing straight through, as she became a bit embarrassed. She had acted childishly and rash, and did not knew the full extent of what he was trying to say, and she jumped to conclusions. There was a major invasion that was gonna happen in a few weeks, and here she was trying to get him to notice her, when he had much bigger things to think about. But she was intensely happy that he wasn't actually writing her off like she thought. They were simply postponing it for now, for a less chaotic time. She nuzzled against his neck as she told she understood. Thanks, Yujito-chan, he said. Although, after this though, you should be prepared for a talk from Hana-chan and Natsu-chan. They're rather protective of me, plus you've seen that. And plus they hate sharing, said Naruto. Yujito heard him and giggled, but she thought about his words as she thought about the other two women in his life. She hoped they wouldn't mind sharing him with her as well. But if she had to fight for him, she would fight tooth and nail. But what she was happy about was that he did not dismiss her after finding out, as she rested against him as they made their way. As Neji was once again happy that Yujito was happy. They finally arrived towards the wall of Kumo, as he was happy that she was here to get her medical attention, but he frowned at the village. Yujito-chan, we're here, he said. Just rest up a bit. I will get you to the hospital soon, he said, as she just nodded, holding on to him, as her body was exhausted as she fell asleep. Today was a lot. She was physically and mentally tired, as Naruto created a clone to send him to the village to get a Kekkei and ask for help. He didn't trust the other people there. After about 15 minutes, he could feel the clone dispel. Unfortunately, the vaults of the village, those were Kumo envoys. Because of a Kekkei getting medics, they were informed, and the Raikage as well. But Naruto let Yujito sleep, as he placed on his genjutsu to lose his ears, tails, as he picked her up gently and made his way with her. When they came into a Kekkei, Kami-sama, Yujito, a Kekkei yelled, as she now understood why the clones had asked to bring medics. As Naruto glanced towards the Raikage who was standing there. You're just lucky I haven't found her mom yet, or you wouldn't have seen her again, thought Naruto. Get her on the stretchers to the Raikage. The medics quickly got to work, as the envoys were right behind them. Yujito had awoken instantly, as she saw the envoy masses. She knew them personally, from her younger days, as her body tensed as Naruto felt it. Give her to me, one of the envoys said. No, said Naruto. I told my clones to get a Keiko. Perhaps, but she's only a genin and has no real experience on how to deal with her, said the Raikage. Which is why the envoy and myself came. Now give her to them! His tone was harsh. After all, he was leader of Kumo. Too bad Naruto wasn't from Kumo. Experience or no, I know that she trusts Akeko-san. That is why I called her here, said Naruto. The Raikage narrowed his eyes. I don't know who the hell you are, but you obviously don't know who I am, so let me inform you. I'm the Raikage of this village. I could tell that easily by your robes, but unless Yujito trusts you, that means little to me. And since I'm not from your village, I don't really care. Now please, let Akeko-san take her. She needs medical attention. The Raikage narrowed his eyes at disrespect. Who was this man to tell him what to do with her? She was his shinobi. He can do what he like. But he saw Naruto's unwavering gaze. As he looked towards Yujito, he needed his weapon. Very well, Akeko. Take her to the hospital to get medical attention. After her humiliating loss, the man said with disgust in his tone, as Naruto clenched his teeth. As Akeko came over and helped Naruto place her down in a stretcher, he then noticed a medic that was standing there, because of her, clothing being ripped, and the shirt not fully going down. The man was staring at her in a provocative way. As Naruto's eyes snapped towards him, the man felt a feeling of dread as he quickly looked away. As Naruto removed his shirt, exposing his chest as he placed it over her legs. As Akeko narrowed her eyes towards his chest, Akeko-san, said Naruto, I leave her in your hands. As Naruto leaned towards her, if he does anything inappropriate while treating her, please tell Yujito, said Naruto, as Yujito will definitely tell him. As Naruto glanced towards the man, he already saw how he looked. He will find him, and he wouldn't be pretty. Yes, said Akeko. Thank you for helping her, Kazuma, Arashi, said. A friend of Yujito-chan. I was there at the Chunin exams. I saw your match with her. It was quite impressive. Thank you, she said. As Naruto held onto her hand, as he came in close. Give this to her. When you two are alone, he said, as he placed 3 from Kuna in her pocket. As she nodded slightly, she looked down towards Yujito, who gave her a smile. She trusts this man. Yujito is our friend. As Yujito held on Naruto's hand, as she gave him a smile, he smiled back at her. With that, she was brought back to the village, leaving the Raikage and his vaults, and Naruto outside. As Naruto realized that the envoy members had surrounded him, leaving a gap in the center where the Raikage was standing. Now that you're gone, I can ask my questions, the Raikage said. First off, how exactly did you find her? And there's no point in trying to deceive me. I can see that you wear no village headband, so if I capture you, it doesn't seem like you have any village protection. So I suggest you answer truthfully, if you don't want to lose a limb or two. As Naruto looked towards the man, he knew that it would be bad on Yujito if the man did not get anything from him, because he would blame Yujito for all of this, even if she was telling the truth or not. I was moving through the mountains to get to Konoha, because I have some business there, when I came across her facing off against 2 men, black cloaks with red clothes on them. I intervened, and I was able to make them retreat, said Naruto. She had lost her clothing in the fight, and she was in a bad state, so I helped her as best as I could, before bringing her back here. The Raikage looked towards Naruto's face as he couldn't tell if he was lying. I will believe you for now, but once she wakes up, I'll get a proper report from her. Now tell me how exactly do you know her? After all, I know for a fact no one ever come to visit her. We met at Chunin exams, just like I told Akeko, said Naruto. I was planning on coming to visit her in the week actually, said Naruto. I see. I'm gonna have to have a talk with her, he said more to himself than Naruto. Very well, Kazuma-san. You may be on your way. I don't have any more questions for you. You may go. As Naruto started to walk. Oh, one more thing. He snapped his fingers as all the envoys pulled their weapon. A lesson to teach you to have some respect. Leave him alive, but without an arm. As Raikage simply walked back to his village, having full faith in his man to report to him once it was over. After a moment or two, he stopped, as he heard a voice. You're not a very good teacher. He froze, as the Raikage turned with shock, as Naruto was holding on to his blade that was still sheathed. He fought with the sheathed blade. He didn't kill them because he knew this would only be more bad for Yujito. As the Raikage looked towards his man, all of them were on the ground, either groaning in pain or unconscious. How? The Raikage is in shock. Quality over quantity, said Naruto. They may have had me outnumbered, but my Kinjutsu style is one of the best in the world. As Naruto figured that he could help Yujito out this way, they really had no chance once they drew their blade against me. Now, there's something I wish to tell you, said Naruto. As he flashed away, the Raikage eyes snapped around. The Raikage was a fast man, so it was rather shocking when he felt a blade pressed up against his throat. As Naruto continued to speak, I want you, well at least your village, to stop treating Yujito with disrespect. She's a good person, and she's keeping your village safe by not letting them be out and destroyed. The Raikage eyes narrowed. This man knew that Yujito was a Jinchuriki. That's right, I know she's a Jinchuriki. Another one of my friends is as well, so I could tell that she was one as well. Now if I come, and hear that my request hasn't been met, you won't like what I'll have in store for Kumo. What I did to those 5 was child's play. Of what I'm truly capable of. Naruto said, his voice was cold. The Raikage narrowed his eyes towards Naruto. There was this unsettling feeling. The Raikage was never afraid of a person yet. They might be strong, but he was willing to fight, but yet, there was this feeling from this man right here as he glanced towards him. But yet, he had to play the role of the Raikage. Besides, he shouldn't be wavering because of his threat. What if I do meet these commands? What I get in return? In fact, I don't have to give you anything, said Naruto. But, considering that I'm not from a ninja village, I might think of joining Kumo Shinobi ranks. The Raikage narrowed his eyes. The man was obsessed with power after all, having his village be the greatest. And after seeing what Naruto did against 5 of his Volt members, they were his elite of elite envoys, and Naruto was able to take them down with such ease. Of course he wouldn't pass up that chance. Well, as long as you keep to your word, I don't see any problem here, the Raikage said. Okay then, Raikage-sama, said Naruto, adding the sama just for the effect. And there are stipulations. When I say disrespecting, I mean bad-mouthing her as a woman, her as a kunoichi, her reputation in the village. She's not to be touched or be hassled by anyone. And I want you to make a public announcement to the village of what she really is to Kumo. She's a hero, not a demon. And finally, I want you to release her mom. The Raikage narrowed his eyes in shock. She told me about her life here, said Naruto, and I want that to change. I can do that, the Raikage said, but not everyone will change. I can understand that, said Naruto, as he knew that it wouldn't be easy to change people's belief. But still, if I see the change in the villagers, at least some, that will be acceptable, said Naruto. And about her mom, the Raikage said, she's very sick and shouldn't be moved at all. Very well. Once she is better, I want her to be given back to Yujito. He's still holding on to her as a bargaining chip, said Naruto, against either myself or Yujito. I'll have to find her myself, Naruto thought. Was there anything else, Kazuma-san? Asked Raikage as he was not willing to lose Kazuma's strength added to his village. No, that is all. When she returned to Konoha for the finals, I'll ask her how things are going, he said. Very well, the Raikage said, as Naruto extended his hand, as the man took his hand and shook hands with him, as Naruto then stepped away, as he vanished in purple flames. The only thing that the Raikage cared about was Kumo being on top, and with Arashi on his side. Well, as he walked away, leaving his envoys, 5 of them, well, his elites, did not compare to Arashi, and he didn't even see the full brunt of the man's strength. Well, he should surely be a great addition to Kumo. The next day, Yujito was released from the hospital. She was confused, as the civilians had changed their attitude towards her. She could tell most of them were forced smiles and forced gestures, but still some of them were real, even her shinobi comrades. It wasn't until a few days later as she learned about the deal Naruto made with Raikage. She was shocked at that. She figured though, that was something that he would do, always a selfless one, even if only a little. People weren't being horrible, and that was good enough for her, and she had to thank him. In the flashback, I'm doing alright, Naruto-kun, said Yujito. Good, said Naruto as he sat down, because I want you at top form for our match. As she smirked back, not to worry, but don't cry when I beat you in the ground, okay? Whoa, said Naruto. So the Nico is finally showing her claws. As he laughed, he felt something press against his cheek, something warm. and slightly moist as she kissed him on the cheek. As he turned towards her, she was looking everywhere except for at him. I just want to say thank you for what you did, for saving me, and with Kumo, she said, as she blushed. As Natsumai looked towards her. Seems like I and Hana are going to have to talk to her. Although she saw how closely she was getting Naruto, but she could understand. There was just something about him that it was hard to understand, but it made people flock towards him. Not a problem, Yujito-chan, said Naruto. Like I said back then, he was cut off as a voice spoke up. Will all participants of the final match please head over towards the fighting box? Don't lose, Kyuubi. I will be the one to end you. As Naruto turned to see Valios who walked past. I hope Lee really beat the crap out of him, said Natsumai. Naruto was still bummed that he missed Lee and Haku's match, and Natsumai wouldn't tell him anything about it, just to mess with him. As Naruto saw the Sand siblings, "Oh hey guys," he said. "Oh hey Naruto-kun," said Temari. "We need to talk," said Naruto, as him and his friends moved back in the room. As they followed close behind, "I found the proof I need for Baki to call off the Sand aid to the sound. Unfortunately." "Really? That's great. That means we don't have to list that damn snake anymore." "Why did you say unfortunately?" said Gaara. "Because," said Naruto, "I figure that Orochimaru is using your..." As he paused, as they all looked at him. Father is a puppet, or at least his position, as Kazekage. He got a confused look from Kankuro, and a shocked one from Temari. As Gaara just looked calm. "Please elaborate," he said. But you could hear in his tone, there was a bit of worry there, slightly. Although their father had been cold to them in the past, once Naruto came and left, things had changed. And they grew closer, after a few years. His father even teach him what he could. Flashback. "Damn that bastard. I swear, he's gonna burn for this," as sweaty Naruto said, as he looked down a ravine, in the middle of a desert. "He certainly will, Naruto-kun. But at least we find the evidence that we have to stop him," said Natsumai. In the ravine was the Kazekage and his Sand envoys that had accompanied him on this trip. The bodies were still festering with worms. As Naruto went down, as he looked towards the head, as he looked saddened, he summoned his blade and removed the head and sealed it away. Before, he used the earth jutsu to give the man a proper burial. In the flashback, we found your dad, corpse, while we were crossing the desert. The body looked like it has been dead for a few months now. All of them had different reactions, but emotionally it was the same. Sadness and rage. Kankuro. As the man was fuming, tears were in Temari's eyes as he started to fall. "Sorry guys," said Naruto, as the sand around Gaara's body started to twitch a bit. "If you feel really that upset, I suggest you bottle up your anger for now. Once everything does begin, turn your anger towards the Sound Shinobis that are following that man." The siblings all took a breath, trying to calm themselves as Temari asked, "Will you show us where?" "Yeah," said Naruto, "once this is all over." Naruto summoned one of his small kitsune with the scroll. After getting the location of Baki, he sent the scroll out there. With that, they left the room. As they made their way, Naruto saw Hana and Haku. As he told the group that he'll meet up with them in a minute and walk over to the two girls. "Hey Hana-chan, hey Haku-chan," he said. "What's up?" "Nothing, Naruto-kun. We just want to wish you good luck in finals, even if we knew they're going to be stopped," Haku said. As she came up to him and gave him a friendly "good luck" hug, which he returned. "I also have something for you," said Hana, as she made her way over, leaning down as she planted a kiss on his cheek. As Haku turned her head, blushing a bit, as she wished that she had someone to do that with. "Good luck, Naruto-kun," she said. As they separated, as they reached a box, it was a large waiting area, where they could see the best view of the arena from up here. As Naruto looked down the arena, he saw Kushina, Katsumi, and Kyoshiro, as he was wearing an eye patch on his right eye, as there was a large scar going down underneath it. He noticed many of the Jonin senseis, and the Konoha 12 Jonins, as Kakashi wasn't there, but he took no note of that, as his gaze went towards the Kage's box, as he saw the Kazekage talking to Sarutobi, as he saw that man, as he gripped the metal, calming himself. The thought of Orochimaru got him thinking about someone else as well, as he started to look through the crowd. as he saw her, with her unique clothing and her purple hair, tied up in a ponytail as she was chewing on some dongos, as she was with Kurenai and Asuma. He had talked to her. In his training, he met her in the forest of death. She was very distrustful at first, because he didn't look like his kid form. As he had spoken to her, he was able to get past that persona that she put up. She has been through a lot. He told her to talk to Naruto, which was him, as she could relate to him, and he could relate to her. The both of them being the scapegoat for the villagers' anger, as they called her the snake whore. Despite her not being Orochimaru himself, they treated her that way. As she took him up on his offer, as she thanked him, Naruto felt something against his leg. As he looked down, the small fox crawled up his arm. As he came right at his ear, Naruto-sama, I was able to find the man from the glove that you have me sniff, and I gave him the scroll. I see. Good work, he said. There is something dangerous that's about to happen, which I don't want you to get swept up in. So go back home, and once again, thank you for your help. I understand, Naruto-sama. Good luck. As Naruto nodded, as the fox poofed away. So, everything in place? Natsumai asked. Yeah, Bucky got the scroll, but the instructions I left he should see it when the match is taking place. So now all we do is wait, said Natsumai, as Naruto nodded. As the announcer, Genma, stepped in the ring, as he started to announce the finals. My name is Genma, and I will be the proctor for the finals. They will begin now. Let's not keep you all waiting. For the first match shall Shikamaru and Tamaru the San come down to the first floor. Good luck, Tamaru, said Naruto, as she gave him a smile as both of them made their way down there. The match went on for a while until it ended in a rather abrupt way with him giving up. He got an earful from Ino. The second match was then called Natsumai vs Neji, as the San siblings wished her good luck until she felt someone pinch her ass as she turned to see Naruto with a smirk on his face. Good luck, he said, in a rather sultry way. She smirked to herself. He was teasing her before her first match. Well, she will get him back for that later. Meanwhile, in the crowd, as many people were whispering about this matchup, wondering who would win. Well, the favor was in the Hyuga project, and this unknown girl. After all, Neji was a prodigy, so he would win. Father? As Hayashi turned towards his youngest daughter. Do you think Neji will still win? You should know more than many, Hanabi, of how strong a Hyuga is. Despite being the branch family, Neji is strong. To answer your question directly, I have no doubt that Neji will win this match. As his eyes went down towards Natsumai, she gave him a strange vibes though, as Hayashi watched her. What do you think, Mom? You fought alongside a Hyuga clan member before. Who do you think will win? Asked Katsumi. They're both strong, and at first glance, I would go with the Hyuga because of his Genkai, but the Kyuubi companion is not one to trifle with. Kyushiro injuries are proof enough of that, and who knows what that demon has taught her that we have not yet seen. So I believe that she will be the one to win this, Kushina said, as she couldn't help but see it. That woman with that demon, she was strong. They heard her grumble, as they saw it was coming from Kyushiro himself. It's bleeding again, said Katsumi, as blood was coming from under the eye patch. Kyushiro was angry. I will not lose the next time we face each other, the usually emotionless boy said, as he got a cloth and wiped blood away. Are both participants ready? Asked Genma. The both of them gave a nod. Alright then, begin! As he leaped away. Natsumai pulled up her phone and threw it towards Neji, as he blocked it with his own. Trying to keep the distance from me, thinking that you will have the advantage, Neji said. Natsumai yawned, further pissing him off. I'm simply warming up. Do not underestimate me, he said, as he launched himself towards her. Neji lashed out with many attacks, but she dodged each and every one of them. He realized that he was getting nowhere with this. She was just too darn flexible. He then smirked, as he was close enough. Rotation! As the blue dome of chakra slammed into Natsumai, as she was sent skidding back. But she stopped after digging her feet into the ground. She dusted herself off before she went through her set of hand signs. Earth style, Mausolea, Earth dumpling, as a massive ball of mud formed. It was wide. It was between them, as Neji saw the massive mud ball. As he was already thinking of ways to get past this, but then he heard her say something else. Uzumaki Fire Style. Fire Dragon Flame Bullet. She can use Uzumaki style of jutsu? Well, he is a member despite being exiled. Neji thought about Naruto, so perhaps he did teach her some things. Neji heard that the amount of chakra that it takes to use those abilities were ridiculous. That is why many people didn't try to learn the Uzumaki style of fighting, so he was surprised that she did not pass out, as the mud ball caught on fire. On the other hand, Kushina was pissed. That damn brat. That thing disrespects us so much to teach someone outside of our clan, our jutsu. As she gripped the armrest tightly, it was trembling. She turned her head as she saw him. He was looking directly towards her. He knew what she was thinking as he was smirking. Meanwhile, as Natsumai shot the ball forward like a pinball towards Neji. Neji was confused. He didn't hear any jutsu being called. How did she send it towards him? But he didn't have time for that as he had to move. As the flames came licking down, as he leaped out of the way, he turned to see what would happen when he hit into the arena wall. But it wasn't done yet. Uzumaki Wind Style. Great Wind Breakthrough. As Natsumai released a massive gust of air, as the ball started to spin, the flames intensified as it came back towards Neji. The air started to be distorted from the heat. As Neji cursed as the giant ball was coming back towards him. Natsumai smirked as she watched him run. It was like a game of pinball, with Neji being the target. As Neji noticed there was an indent in the ball, there was a hole. As he continued to move as he watched, where the hell did she go? As he saw Natsumai dropping from mid-air, when the hell did she went up there? She slammed her heel right into the ball. It exploded, sending chunks of fire and earth all over the arena, not to mention weapons inside. As Neji was shocked, as he thought about the hole, but when did she plant them inside? As Neji dodged the first wave of flaming mud that spread everywhere, he gripped two kunai as he started to block and deflect, but it was getting too much. As they were all coming towards him, he held on to the kunai as points. 8 tetragrams, 64 palms. As he used the kunai to strike everything that came towards him, he deflected everything, knocking them away. As he blocked them, Natsumai stood there. As the heavy dust cloud started to diminish, large clumps of mud were still on fire. All over the place, kunais and shurikens were stuck all over the walls. That was impressive, said Neji as he caught his breath. I clearly underestimate you and your tactics. That you have. I suggest don't do it again, she said, as she was starting to enjoy this fight. Well, she had to hold back a lot, but still, it was being fun. He dropped the kunais that he had in his hand as they were all dented. He dropped into his family stance. Let us end this, shall we? As Natsumai was smirking as he attacked her, she started to taunt him by leaving herself open. As Neji came in faster than she expected and hit her, he did not waste any time as Neji dropped into a lower stance, right to end this once and for all. He was not going to make sure she stand after this. The Hyugas were shocked when Neji pushed it up. 128 palms, he said, as he lashed out at her. The audience watched as Neji's hand seemed to be blurring out of existence, until he finally completed his attack, as he blew Natsumai away with the final blow, as she was sent sailing towards the wall. Neji was out of breath as he looked towards the proctor. Proctor, call the match, he said, as Genma came down. Yes, winner. Hey, I'm not done yet. As everyone blinked, Genma turned his head as he saw Natsumai as she was sitting down, with a smile on his face. I commend you, she said, looking towards Neji. It's been a long time since I actually feel a bit of pain. Well, not that much, but you see, I have grown a bit of immunity to your taijutsu style, and you can't really keep my points close. As she got to her feet, wiping off dirt that got on her, as she was smiling cutely. No, that's not possible, said Neji. Once your points are closed, they can only be reopened by a hyuga, medical ninjutsu, or natural body healing. But that would take days. They should not be so fully functional after a short period of time. Neji did not understand what the hell was going on. You're bluffing, he said. But yet she was standing up, completely calm and even smiling. Well, believe what you want, she said. I simply told you that so you can give up, and we can move on to the next match. Because, in actuality, I'm kind of getting bored, she said. Anger filled Neji's tone at the blatant disrespect. I will not, he said, As Natsumai sighed, she knew how prideful Hyugas were. Of course she would not give up. Very well. But I'll end it quickly for you, okay? As she brought her arms up and summoned 20 clones. Neji looked towards him. Do you really think clones can defeat me? He said. She yawned, further irritating Neji. Take him out, she said. As Neji waited until they were close enough. Rotation! As Natsumai purposely let them all jump forward for his rotation to hit them. Uzumaki style, fire style, fireball jutsu. As her fire style shot past many of her clones and connected with his barrier, Neji was still spinning, wondering why she would do something stupid that won't get. He paused. Damn it, he cursed. She wasn't trying to break through it, she was trying to use it. The spin of his rotation was fueling her jutsu. As Natsumai watched that smile on her face, and the pretty show in front of her. If I stop spin, the fire will engulf me, but if I keep on doing this, it will erase all of the air inside of here, and I won't be able to breathe. As Neji was already sweating and finding it hard to breathe. Damn that girl, Hayashi said. She seemed to have a great amount of knowledge of fighting Hyuga. Despite Neji being a part of the main branch, it was still rather disrespectful to see him lose to someone that wasn't, well, she wasn't anything. No clan name, nothing. She was with the demon. The flames finally died out as Neji collapsed, sweating, breathing heavily. He could barely move. Guess I won, said Natsumai. As Genma looked towards her, she hadn't even breaking a sweat. Winner! Natsumai! People started to clap and cheer. Some of them, though, who knew who Natsumai was with, did not clap. What an unexpected ending for such a surprising match. And rather exciting. The Kazekage said that it was Kazekage-dano, said Sarutobi. Let's just hope the rest of the matches will keep the crowd as entertained as this one, said the Raikage. Kushina was clenching her fists. Seems that beast will continue to disrespect our clan by teaching outsiders our jutsu. As Katsumi saw her mother glaring to her brother was, as she glanced over towards him, Katsumi's mind was conflicted, as her battle with him had left her thinking about a lot of things. What he did, what he said, she was confused, but she wouldn't voice her opinion. As she glanced towards her mother, she saw the hate in her mother's eyes towards Naruto. The next match was Kankuro versus Shino, but Kankuro gave up as Naruto looked towards him. We're still acting like we're helping Orochimaru invasion, so I would have to quit anyway to save my chakra. But now I want to do it, so I can fight against those bastards that took my father away, he said, as Naruto understood. Will Naruto, Uzumaki, Namikaze, and Yujito come down to the arena, said Genma. Many of the audience, the foreign audience whispering, still shocked that that boy was late for Takage's son. Guess that's our cue. That is his, Naruto-kun. As they wished him good luck, as Naruto felt something slap him on the butt as he turned, as Natsumai was there with that smirk on her face. Good luck, Foxy-sama, she said. Well, it seems that the little game was not over yet, as Naruto and Yujito made their way down to the arena, as Kushina glared down towards him. Good luck, Katsumi thought to herself. As she looked towards him, he didn't seem like such a bad person, the way her mother described him. But she couldn't tell her mother that. Her mother would be definitely angry at her, more than angry, livid. She herself didn't understand why she was saying this, but as she looked into his blue eyes, it didn't remind her of a demon or anything like that. He seemed like a kind person, who was just placed in an unfavorable situation, and it made her feel bad. She just didn't know, and she didn't know anything that much. Finally, thought Danzo, as he was watching in secret. He can finally see what that beast had taught him. Danzo was still planning on having that boy recruited towards his roots in any means possible, so he needs to see what he's capable of. Oh, so the son of the fourth Hokage finally returned, Hokage-dano. For shame, you did not let that get out, said the Raikage, as he was acting surprised. The reports of Naruto going missing had gotten out, but there was no report of him coming back. Well, the third that kept it, probably to now release it towards everyone in the Chunin exams. Well, you know as well as I, the kind of enemies Shinobis make over the years, Hokage-dano. It's safer for him to be kept under the radar. I suppose you're right, but it's a shame that he will be facing off against my shinobi. You should have him forfeit before he forfeit his life. Well, let us just see about that, said Sir Toby. We might all be very surprised how the match turned out to be. Begin, Genma told them. The two Jinjul looked at each other as Yujito dropped into her taijutsu stance. Until Naruto raised his hand in a pause in motion. She stopped as she tilted her head, confused. There's something I want to show you after this match. However, I won't show it to you unless you give me a real match, he said. If I don't think that you fought me with all of your strength, not only would I be insulted, I won't show it to you, he said. And trust me, this is something you want to see for a long time, he said. Truth be told, she didn't want to go all out against him even though they had promised to fight each other for real, to see how the both of them stacked up against each other. But there was only one thing that she wanted desperately. Well, besides from being with him, but that wasn't going to be until after, but no. As she narrowed her eyes. Her mother? Tell me one thing. The thing. Is it what I think it is? As he simply gave a nod, the next moment a fist connected in his face. He was blasted back through the wall, leaving a sizable crater of himself impacted in it. Many of the council members smirked at his pain, still feeling the anger and embarrassment from the meeting months ago. The crowd was shocked as they just saw she vanish. And then bam, he was in the wall. Laughter. Laughter swallowed the arena as it came from the hole, as a hand came out as Naruto pulled himself out. As he burst out laughing, everyone was surprised. Was he enjoying this? Good, good, said Naruto. That's exactly what I was expecting. Now that I know that you're ready, how about we begin for real? As she gave him a smirk and they vanished. The non-shinobis all lost track of the fighting, because both of them were moving at such speed that only Jonin or Haya could keep up. The Chunins and lower could not see a damn thing. Well, that's impressive, Hokage-dano, said the Raikage. I never thought the shinobis could keep up with my Yujito, he said. Sir Toby simply nodded, but he wondered why Naruto was playing with her. If he was really serious, this match would have ended within seconds. There was something going on that Naruto was not telling him, as Orochimaru licked his lips. The Kyuubi boy was really interesting. Perhaps he should get him to join the sound. After all, this village had treated him with nothing but contempt and disgust. Why would he love them? Hate must be there. Anger, rage. He can turn that toward his advantage. Both fighters then finally separated as Naruto was still smiling. Yujito looked right to maim him. As Yujito started to take on the cloak of Inibi, as the chakra came out of her. The chakra whips around her. Her eyes changed. Nails started to grow into claws. She wasted no time as she gathered a large amount of chakra. Lightning release. Lightning shadow. As Naruto watched the skies above the stadium start to grow dark. Seems like she used that month to focus on her lightning release. She can create storm clouds now. Wait, is she gonna bring no real lightning against me? He thought to himself. Well, I did tell her to be serious, he says. He heard the cackling of the lightning. As he saw the massive build-up. Well then, I guess I shouldn't hold back that much either. As he braked two of his limiters on him, the crowd gasped as they saw two blue dragon wings emerge from his back. It was then that lightning came from the heavens, but also a black lightning bolt came from Yujito's shadow that connected with that one, and they combined. The explosion was massive. Father, said Shikamaru, in a shocked voice that was not really faithful of him. She seemed to have a darkness of Ente, said Shikaku. Darkness of Ente? Ino said, confused. Yes, Shikaku said. Up till now, only a select few individuals through the elemental nation has been able to possess the darkness of Ente, along with the Naras. The user can warp them, change them, manipulate them into anything that they wish. It is usually mixed with a lot of cult talking behind it, so that those that can master this to its fullest is able to bring someone back from the dead and use them as their slave. And there's also rumors about the light of Ente, that while mastered up to its fullest, can bring someone back alive. I know of someone in their 70s living at the Sand, who is said to be the grandmother of a legendary sorcerer of the Red Sand, who's able to use light of Ente. Shikaku said as Ino looked towards Nara clan. She never knew that they could do something like that, if they master that darkness of Ente. Damn, said Naruto as he kept on flashing around, avoiding the lightning, I never knew that she was going to use an Nimbus chakra so quickly. And her use of her darkness affinity, she's got it greatly under control now. Well, she has been training for numerous of years, but I guess she pushed herself in this last month. Damn it, this is taking up too much of her chakra. And his jutsu is still making him faster than actual lightning. Thought Yujito as you watch him dodge each and every one of her attacks. Well, you remember that jutsu that Akiko taught you for that match? If he's too fast, take away his speed. As Yujito blasts the ground, forcing him to leap back. The moment he was far enough, she flashed two hand sign once again. Lightning release. Deadly gravity as she slammed her hand to the earth. As the entire arena and walls glow yellow. A few seconds earlier, Naruto was kicking off, coming towards her. As he was going to repay her for that punch that she gave him earlier, when she activated her jutsu fully. As he felt the change of the gravity. Luckily, he was able to slam his hands on the ground and flip over her head, because he nearly slammed face first in the earth. The moment he landed, the ground exploded underneath him as she increased his gravity. I see Akiko has taught you a few things. In the month hiatus, he said, with a smirk. Oh yes, she said. And there is so much more. As she flashed through hand sign once again. Combination jutsu. Lightning and darkness style. Lightning shadow, she said. As Naruto looked up towards the heavens that were crackling once again. This time, his body was being weighted down. As he saw the lightning bolt being built. Well, this is kind of his fault, right? He did tell her to go all out. I know he was going to suffer the consequences. As the two massive lightning bolts came shooting down towards him. And he was stuck. But guys, will be in subscribe right here. If you want the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace out.